In a small village, nestled in Alta, there lived a young woman named Obioma. She was a beauty, with skin as smooth as ebony and as eyes that shone like the brightest stars. But despite her physical beauty, Obioma was shunned by the villagers. They whispered among themselves, calling her a witch, a woman with a curse that brought death to any man who dared to love her. Obema's life was marked by tragedy. Her suitors would come and go, each one meeting an untimely dismiss after visiting her and declaring their intentions to marry her. Days later, after their intention had been known, they would always be found dead. The villagers were convinced that Obioma was the cause of their deaths, that she was a witch who used charms to lure men to their graves. But Obioma knew the truth. She was not a witch, but a victim of what she does not even know. She longed for love, for someone to hold her and cherish her, but it seemed that fate was against her. A sunny afternoon, as Obioma was walking through the village market buying things she wanted to use and cook, she met a young man whose name is Ekene. Ekene was a tall and strong, handsome man with a smile that could light up the darkest of rooms. Ekene was really drawn to Obioma, and as they struck up a conversation, he found himself falling deeply in love with her. But Ekene began to visit Obioma regularly. The villagers warned him of the dangers of loving her. They told him of the suitors who had died, of the cause that seemed to follow Obioma wherever she went, but Ekene refused to listen. He was convinced that Obioma was not a witch, that she was simply not a witch. As Ekene and Obioma's love grew stronger, the leaders began to whisper among themselves once again. Even Ekene's parents were not left behind. They wouldn't want anything bad to happen to their only son. They predicted that Ekene would be the next to die, that Obioma's curse would claim another victim. But Ekene and Obioma refused to listen. They were convinced that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. But just as it seemed that Ekene and Obioma's love would prevail, tragedy struck. Ekene received a mysterious message warning him to stay away from Obioma. The message was unsigned, but Ekene knew that it was from someone who was determined to keep him and Obioma apart. Determined to uncover the truth, Ekene began to investigate. He spoke to the villagers, asking them if they knew anything about the mysterious message, and then he received a shocking revelation. But before then, there was a young man named Chinedu. Chinedu, a man who had once proposed marriage to Obioma, but he had been rejected. Obioma saw Chinedu as one with a very bad heart. He saw Chinedu as one that would not make a good husband. Chinedu was always bragging about how much he has, and yet always needed to help the poor. Chinedu does not even care about other people. He was so selfish. But he was a very wealthy man. So when Obioma rejected him, it was a hard pill for him to swallow. He felt angry. How can a homie Chinedu be rejected by a mere woman? A woman that I can buy with my money and keep and feed in my own house. Well, let's see how it unfolds. So, Chinedu has come to marry Obioma, and after the Obioma rejection, that was how the whole issue started. Ever since then, Obioma's suitors kept on dying. But then Ekene, now unraveling the truth, found out that Chinedu was using juju, a form of black magic, to kill anyone who dared to love Obioma. Ekene was horrified. He knew that he had to confront Chinedu to stop him before he could harm anyone else, and so he set out to find Chinedu, that meant to put an end to his evil path. But when he came to Chinedu's house and confronted him, Chinedu was angry. He shouted at her, "How dare you come to my house and say this nonsense about me? Which evidence do you have? How would you come and say a thing like that, that I have been responsible for the deaths of your lovers? You better leave this house now before I arrest you." Well, she had no choice. She had to leave. She went and narrated the whole story to Ekene. Told Ekene how Chinedu almost beat her just because he was one to stop using his evil charms on her suitors. Well, Ekene, being an understanding man, knew that something needed to be done, else Chinedu's charm will never end, and he would be with the love of his life. So then he decided to set a trap, and that was how I started monitoring Chinedu closely until one day he followed Chinedu, and unknowingly to Chinedu, he was following him with a camera And that was how he followed him to a very dark place where he found out was where Chinedu always gets his jam, just to charm anyone who dared come close to his love interest. So, as Chinedu was about to start using his voodoo, that was when Ekene came out with machete and shouted at Chinedu to stop whatever he was doing. At this time, Chinedu couldn't do anything because Ekene did not come alone. He came with a camera and two of his friends who came as witness. That was how Chinedu was dragged out and disgraced. Chinedu conf- After Ekene and his friend took Chinedu away, the villagers saw him, and this time around he was helpless. His money couldn't save him. He has committed a great abomination, killing people's lives and taking their life just to make sure that you render a woman useless is a very selfish thing to do. The villagers spat on him. They were so down. How could a man well respected like you do this just because of a woman? Chinedu kept quiet. When he found his voice, he was angry. He shouted that Obioma caused it. How dare she reject his marriage proposal? That someone like him is any lady's prayer point in this village. So when he came for Obioma's hand in marriage and Obioma turned him down, that he felt angry, rejected, and also he felt talked down on. So he decided to deal with her. And the villagers and the help of the Igwe decided that it was time to abolish him. They have banished him away from their kingdom, never to return again, whether dead or alive. Chinedu was not even remorseful. After all, he still had money with him, so he set out and he left the kingdom for good. As for Ekene and Obioma, it was time for them to rekindle. People started apologizing, saying that they were sorry because now Chinedu has been defeated and Ekene and Obiano were finally free to love each other without fear of harm. They got married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by their friends and family who apologized to them and especially to Obioma for thinking that she was a witch and for always treating her as one, not knowing that it was the heart of an evil man that was holding her since from marrying in the love of her life. As they changed their vows on their marriage day, Ekene promised to love and protect Obioma, to stand by her side through thick and thin, and Obioma, her eyes shining with tears, promised to love and cherish Ekene, to be his partner and friend forever. The villagers who had once shunned Obioma now celebrated her love for Ekene. They realized that they had been wrong to judge her, that she was not a witch but a woman who had been victimized by circumstance. Is married by force, the villagers whispered. A man can be so evil. So because I refuse to marry you, hence you want to make my life miserable. Well, they were happy and finally, Obioma was free, and she actually found the kind of man she needed. A brave man like Ekene who will stand by her in all times. A brave man who will be a protector, who will be a provider, and who will be her best friend. People were happy for them because it was not easy to get a good man as Ekene in this particular time and moment. Ekene and Obioma lived happily ever after, their love growing stronger with each passing day. They knew that they had overcome great obstacles to be together and they were determined to make the most of their love. Years later, Ekene and Obina had beautiful children and their love still grew stronger. They were best of friends. You dare not interfere in their couple moments or come to gossip to them for what their partner did. Once you do that, they will use you and set an example and they will send you away from their house, never to return. Because if they could survive the gossips and all these obstacles there were before them, before they got married, all this small gossip from people that don't love or wish them well, we are nothing to them. Ekena and Obioma had beautiful children together, two boys and two girls, and they were both happy with their children and their family. Ekena and Obioma strived hard and they made it. They were rich enough to take care of their family, to take care of their children, and even take care of their loved ones. So years later, as Ekena and Obioma sat on their porch, holding hands and watching the sunset while their children played in the garden, they looked back on their journey, remembering the challenges they had faced and the love they had overcome. They knew that they were lucky to have each other, and they knew that this hand they were holding will last for a lifetime. So, yes, their marriage worked very well for them, and nobody died. We were meant to be, Ekene said, smiling at Obioma. Yes, we were, Obioma replied, her eyes shining with tears, and we will be together forever. Thank you, my husband, for finding me worthy to share life with you, Obioma said. Ekene, on the other hand, thanked Obioma for agreeing to do life with him, and they both knew that they were the best thing that have happened to each other. And the end. Thank you so much for listening to my story up to this moment. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Please kindly on your notification bell so you can post new videos.